Hi there, this is Justin from Lemplates, and today we'll be discussing whether Notion is still relevant in 2026 for SOPs. So we'll just jump straight into it. Notion isn't just about features, it's about how it fits into your workplace and how it fits into your work processes. So we'll discuss who Notion really works for. And in this case, Notion really works for small teams. It really works for people who tend to struggle and struggle with workplace processes in a sense whereby everything is a bit chaotic and clustered, and you need constant micromanagement of people in order to see who has done what, when was done, and so on. So that's all about Notion, whether it's relevant in 2026 or not. So this tool is for teams reassessing their documentation setup and trying to decide whether Notion is the right tool on how they operate. So as you have guessed, some teams may have been using Notion for quite a while now, and some tools are and might be looking into using Notion as a tool that will supplement or work well for their workplace processes. So we are here to find out about that today. So Notion works well for a team that's less than 10 people, and it works well for processes that change often, and obviously the same person who designs the workflow is the same person executing it. So it works well in those cases. This tool is quite flexible, easy to edit, and every team member who is invited to edit the document can edit, or invited to edit the template can edit and add and update their workplace processes, their outcomes, their inputs, and so on. So it works well in those scenarios. It's also strong for creative or strategic teams where SOPs are more of a guidance than strict instructions. So when it comes to marketing teams, production teams, founders documenting LA processes, it really works well in those regards. And it thrives in environments that have a lot of adaptability rather than teams that value rigid structures. So if your workflow is still evolving, then Notion is the tool for you. It gives you quite an advantage. And now we'll quickly click into Notion. So if you don't have an account already, you can always create one and play around with the features. And if you don't know how to create an account, you can always go back to the previous videos that we did and have a look at how we got here in this current process. So teams often rely heavily on repeatable executions, high volume operations, and agency onboarding new members regularly. So this tool works very well since it's easier to understand, especially when it comes to new members being onboarded into the team. And also it works well for departments where processes need to run the same throughout. So this tool is definitely the one for you since it has the same template. You just need to edit it slightly, reflecting or being relevant to the clients that you're working with or the processes that you're going through. So in those environments, there's a lot of flexibility, which becomes a spearhead towards completing the necessary workflows. Every SOP can look slightly different. Navigating can get a bit messy depending on the client, depending on the outcomes, and depending on what the team needs to do. And execution obviously depends on an interpretation. So the more clear and straightforward a workspace is, then the easier it is to complete. So with Notion, you have templates that are already up and running, templates that you can just edit. So everything is somewhat clear and easier to understand and obviously straightforward. So that's how Notion might be relevant in 2026. And with regards to this tool, The trade-off here isn't really power, but it's flexibility versus reliability. So when this tool gives room for a lot of flexibility, however, when it comes to reliability, it's a bit lacking since everyone can edit, change some stuff, which obviously can lead to a bit of confusions when someone removes something that wasn't supposed to be removed and someone tampers with something that wasn't supposed to be tampered with, and now everything becomes hard to keep track of. So, in a simple verdict, when it comes to this tool, yes, for small teams it's quite useful. For updatable teams, it's quite useful, and for teams that are flexible and comfortable managing their own structures, it's very much useful. And when it comes to teams that prioritize speed, consistency, and low friction execution above everything else, then it becomes a bit tricky to use. So when it comes to this tool being relevant, it's more of a 50-50 chance depending on the team that's using it. So if the wrong team is using this tool, obviously it won't work out. And if the right team is using the tool, then everything will work out perfectly and they will get the outcome they desire or outcome they are looking and planning forward to getting. So this tool is quite similar to templates. So we will quickly dive into templates and have a look at it and look at the features that come with it. So the tool here has the same processes. As you can see here, we already have created an account and I'll just quickly show you how it works without having to start everything from scratch. So with the templates that we've got here, we'll just quickly go to Marketplace and I'll show you how you get them. So here we'll try client, let's say onboard. Okay, let's try more. Okay, so this is the template that we use. You click use template and it will appear here, and when you are here you can just simply rename the template to run down to whatever client, to whatever word processes that you have, and then you have your 12 steps. With these steps you can remove the step, you can edit using AI, you can edit manually, you can add your documents, your images, and so on. So, and your files as well, your YouTube videos, video links. There is a lot of things that you can add your dates, etc. So you can use it in however way you want. And if you want your teams to have access to this document to be able to edit it, you can just simply go to Teams and then you create your team right here. Create team. You create your team, your description for the team, and so on. And then let's assume this rundown is your team. So you get to your rundown, you invite your team members right here, and then with that being the case, you go to templates and then you share the template and you click the template that you want to share with the relevant team. So the template should be relevant to the client you're working on or should be relevant to the processes that you're working on with the team members. So this is how it basically is. And if you need any more information, if you need to play around with the tool and have a look at it in different ways, that should have a look at tools that you use on a daily basis. You can have or play around with them at your own leisure. And also, you can always catch the link in the description below, the link to the tools that you've looked at so far. And that's it from me. I'll catch you on the next video.